Guys, my garden is finally coming along. And if you look over here, you'll see all these weeds right here. I call it weeds, but some of them are not weeds. I have right here lemon balm, but I have it growing in abundance. So I'm just going to pull these and I'm going to add it to a little compost pile because that's what I've been doing out in the garden. It's been raining so much, and so I have a lot of things that are really picking up now and starting to grow. I have chickweed right here, lemon balm, and all this stuff. I am going to just dump them right here on this pile, and it's going to break down the dry leaves from last year, all the little branches and the bushes right there, and that's going to just break down and form really good organic soil, guys. And if you notice right here, I have some dried branches already here that I've been pulling and dropping, just like some people would say chop and drop, but I would just pull it out of the soil because they're pretty much weeds, and I just throw it on that pile right there. So let me take you over here to this section where I have one of these that I've been piling leaves and all the stuff that I pull up from my garden. And if you look right here, look at this beautiful soil, this rich black soil that I have under here. And see how this is breaking down really nicely? This is all going to turn into soil, and I can feed it right back to my beds right here. Look at that. And do you see the color of that soil? And it's holding all that moisture in it from the rains that have been falling. All those leaves and all those branches and all the weeds that I'm throwing in there and it's breaking off, it's just keeping that moisture in there, and it feeds the worms and allows for the material to just break down and turn into that good healthy soil that anyone would want to grow their foods in. Now let me take you over here to this section, and as you can see while I'm walking, there's a lot of dry leaves from last fall, and we were able to clean up this area here, and we've been making these piles that would allow for these materials to break down and feed it right back to the soil. There's one right there, and we can feed that right back to the blueberries that we have growing here just to feed it. It's a form of natural fertilizer. So that's what we are going to do, and we want to keep this practice going because I think it's the best thing for your garden. Look at this. There's another pile right here, and that's going to all break down. So we can feed it right back to the blueberries. See how they're growing beautifully? Right there, and they have tons of blueberries on them this year. So I guess we're doing something good. These plants are loving the soil, and we're happy about that. Everything is starting to grow so healthy. You know, we got a late start because of the weather, but everything is really starting to flourish. Look at all these leaves right here. Imagine I get all these right from nature, free of cost. Look at that. And look at the soil under here. Look at all these rotten leaves and all these rotten weeds. Look who's happy in there. Look at all the worms just in this one section alone. Look how many worms are there. And that's because we have natural materials there. I didn't put the worms there. They found these natural materials and they are loving it, and it's a great environment. It's actually the best environment for them. So they're in there in the soil enjoying this, and they are thriving. So let me just cover it back up and let them do their thing and break this material down and enriching my soil. I'm just going to pull these weeds up, pop them back in there, and let that break down. All these here, we call them weeds, but they are herbs. Those are plantains. That's a narrow leaf plantain. And over here, I have my garden growing. Everything is coming up. I have some sweet potatoes right here. Like I said, everything started late because of the weather, but it's coming along pretty well. And I have some work to do. Excuse the mess because there's a lot of weeds if you guys notice. But these here are some of my peppers. Then I have a squash right there. My peppers are really short and they're starting to throw out flowers. Some of them I have actual peppers on the plant, but the plants are very short. I've noticed this year. It's very short. And all of these things, if you notice the white tag, All of these I grew from seed, guys. I struggled so much, but look at the beauty of this now. I am one happy camper in the garden this year. I have some brassicas, I have garlic here. I harvested my first batch of garlic and I planted some more in June. So guess what? I'm gonna have a second harvest of garlic. I have eggplant growing here. I have onions back there and all sorts of things growing. I have tomatoes, plenty squash. And guys, I mostly have winter squash, like I said. Look, I have some more beans growing right here, and those are my zucchini squash. So we're gonna have a lot of food. And this here is my beans. They're starting to flower and bear some beans on them. Actually, those are my peas, sorry. But I plant a lot of peas and I plant a lot of beans because I do can a lot of my beans that I grow. But I also plant in succession. I do succession planting. And so let me take you over here. Look at that. My pumpkins are already running along and I'm so happy about that. But let me take you to the back where I have some more peas so I can show you guys how I do it. Over here I have sweet potatoes. This right here is a coyote squash that I started indoors. If you guys may remember that video, I showed a video of how I started it in two different ways, but that's one of them. I also have some beans right here in this bucket, Cherokee Trail of Tears beans, that I also started indoors. So it's in this bucket and I put it close to the fencing right here so it'll just trellis up on the fencing because this is a runner beans. And over here I have some more beans and it's starting to run up this cattle panel right here. I have it making an arch up top so they'll have enough room to spread. So I have like probably about 6 of these vines growing here. So we will be getting a lot of beans, and once it start bearing and we start keep picking them, you know, it will produce more and more till the season comes to an end. Here I have some more kale growing. I have some radish and I think those are yellow radishes and it's the first time that I'm growing them. But over here, if you guys notice, I have some more sweet peas and it's just at a different stage of the first set that I showed you. So like I said, I succession plant. I will plant some and then I'll wait like 3 weeks or so and I will plant some more. So I have an entire row here on this bed where I have these brassicas planted. So I will be getting more beans. They're coming up really nice. I have some something going on here with this brassica, but for the most part it looks good. And if you guys look over here, there's a third set of sweet peas that I have just starting to pop up out of the ground. And so I will have a lot of peas. I like peas. I eat them as a snack. And this is also a different variety. So I have 3 different varieties that I plant in succession. I plant them like approximately 3 weeks apart. So this is how they're doing. My brassicas over here are looking great. I believe this is a cauliflower. It's a red cauliflower. So I'm just waiting to see what it's gonna do. I have some walking onions back there. My ginger is starting to pop up. And these I started in the ground. And guess what? Something dug it up earlier in the season, but they're starting to pop back. I have my radishes right here. Yeah, something's getting them really good. But, you know, the season is coming along pretty good. And I'm satisfied with what I'm seeing so far. I've been able to harvest a lot of greens so far. Spinach. And also some collard greens. And a lot of kale. So I've been freezing those. We've been eating some. And this right here is just I believe this is a dead nettle plant that I have here growing on my bean bed. I wanted to do a little more research on it, but you know what? I don't have the time because it's gardening season, the heart of gardening season. It's time for me to grow as much as I can and harvest, so I really do not have time. And then this is right in the bed with the beans taking up all this space. So now you can see there's a whole lot of space, and it's not taking any nutrients that the beans would need. So we'll just leave it at that, and we'll do an experiment at another time. And that came up just as a weed in the bed, and I allowed it to grow. But you guys see how large this thing was growing, and it was taking over the space where the bean had to grow. So I just removed it. And over here I have some more squash growing. It's starting to run. So I have the trellis right here made out of the cattle panel. So it's gonna run up on there, and I think this is a Sucrine du Berry squash. I hope I pronounced it right and I didn't butcher the name, but it's the first time I'm growing these, and they're from seed. This one right here is a orange butternut squash, guys, and I'm just planting a lot. These are winter squash, and it saves really well. You know, I plant my squash and they last a very long time, between 8 and 9 months. So I do plant a lot because I want to store it up, you know, and have food for a while. My broccolis are starting to come in. Look at the leaves on this, and I do use the broccoli greens also. I don't know if anyone else uses it, but they are delicious. I steam it down and they're really good. I know I have a lot of weeding to do. I just come in and I pluck it up. And this is a potato, a sweet potato that I have here. I just want to grow some slips from it so I can harvest the slips as greens and use those also. I've never done that before or never tasted it before, but I just think it's a good thing to try out for the first time. Over here I have another zucchini starting to flower. There's another one back there. And over here is my ginger, and this is how my ginger doing. I started it indoors. I have a cucumber in here that's doing well. I haven't had any harvests yet, but it's coming along pretty fine. And these are some of my tropicals right here. This right here is another ginger I have, and I've been growing that indoors since in February. It's sending up some shoots. And right here I have this purple Malabar spinach. Look at it. I also started that indoors in February. This is how my other spinach is doing, and this spinach is my longevity spinach. I have already harvested. There are new growth coming out on it, so I will be harvesting more and more as they send out more leaves. These tomatoes that I have growing here, I think this one is a pineapple tomato. I have to transplant these because they can't stay in the grow bag like this. I have a lot, guys, I have a lot of work doing, you know, and I just want to grow my food. I want to grow as much food as I can this season because the season has started off slow. This is my lemongrass. I've had it for a couple years, those two right there. So I'm going to keep growing my food. And I'm going to keep dropping my seeds because there are things that only require a short season. The short crops are only going to need a short length of time, so I will be still able to, you know, grow and harvest. These potatoes, I have to fill those in with the soil till it comes up to the top of the bucket. I'll leave a 2-inch head space. And with me adding more soil, it's going to create an environment for more potatoes to grow and maximize my harvest total. This right here is a yam, white yam, that I'm growing in a bucket. I also started that indoors. I have this zucchini squash. I believe that's a gray zucchini that I have growing here. I have this pigeon peas or gungo peas. Some people know it as gungo peas, but I call it pigeon peas. More Georgia collards right here. My sweet potatoes are looking great. And this is a Myanmar variety. I have several varieties of sweet potatoes. So, you know, here I have a different variety. I don't think I could find the tag. But, yeah, I did harvest some greens from these, and I froze them already. Look at this butterfly trying to lay your eggs on my brassicas and let them eat all the leaves up, and I am not having it. But yeah, this right here is some spinach. I'm still harvesting from it. I have lettuce here, so I am eating greens. I am able to freeze some, you know, And I'm happy with that. Different varieties of lettuce here. We'll keep picking from those. And this is cut and come again. So guess what? We'll have for the entire season. And those two buckets are my two pawpaw varieties that I need to put in the ground. And guys, I do plant flowers. If you look, yep, I planted these flowers here because I just wanted a border that I can use to plant flowers so that I can invite the pollinators. This is a bee balm right here. This is sunflower. You know, this is a coneflower right here. And this is just a lily that I split from my garden in the front because I have tons of it. So what I do every year is just split them and share it all around my property. So it looks nice. I don't have to go back to the store and buy more. All I have to do is split the bulbs and plant them where I want them to grow. But I do have a lot of herbs that I'm planting here in this border, and so it's going to look really nice. It's going to attract the pollinators, and I'm going to have the benefit of using these herbs. I have primrose here, I have bee balm, I have lavender, I have cornflower, all sorts of different herbs that I can use. This is a primrose, this is a lavender. I also have agastache right there. So there's stuff that I will be able to actually make my teas with, and that's what I want, to plant things that I can actually use and benefit from them once they're growing on my property. So guys, this is my little tour. I hope you enjoyed. Dora has to get her shine on, and there she is. Things are growing, so keep growing your garden, keep planting your food, keep dropping your seeds. It will pay off in the end. Your harvest will be great. Be encouraged, stay positive, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time right here on Fifi's Journey.